Are you looking for a super easy crochet bucket hat pattern with only one tail to sew in? This easy step-by-step tutorial is for you. Hi, it's Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Today we are making this gorgeous, easy, one-color bucket hat, and it only has one tail to sew in. Plus, the pattern comes in 3 different sizes. Today's tutorial, we're going to be doing medium size, which fits most people, but you can also make it size small for a child or extra large if you have a lot of hair or a big head. These hats are great to sell at craft fairs. The small one just uses 50 grams of yarn, the medium size about 80 grams, and the large about 100 grams, so 1 ball of yarn for the large size. These hats are great to sell at craft fairs, and it has an optional second row of single crochet at the edge. You could just do 1 row of single crochet to finish, and it ends up like this hat right here. Still super cute and saves a little bit of yarn. To make your super easy one-color bucket hat, you will need yarn. I'm using Savor from Ice Yarns. It is a size 4 worsted weight acrylic. You could use any size 4 worsted weight yarn that you have on hand. I will be using a 6mm crochet hook with my size 4 worsted weight acrylic yarn. You'll also need a pair of scissors, a needle for sewing in your end, your one end, and a stitch marker. Here are the timestamps. You can jump back into where you left off, and let's get started. To start your one-color bucket hat, you can use a magic ring to start or a chain 3 ring, whichever you prefer. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how just to do your slip knot and a chain 3 ring. But if you prefer a magic ring, go ahead. It works out great. Make a slip knot and pop it onto your hook. You want to leave a 1.5 to 2 inch tail and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to slip stitch into that very first chain we made to join. Right down there. So just pop your hook in, but before we slip stitch, we're going to get ourselves situated. So slide those loops up on your hook, and underneath your hook, you want to hold that space open with your finger and thumb, forming a U shape. And now slip stitch to join, still holding that space open. Chain 1 and pull up a bit of a loop, just to make that last loop a little bit bigger, and make 11 double crochets into the center of your ring. There's 1. You want to be working over your tail. If you don't work over your tail, you have to sew it in with a needle later. So working over your tail helps a lot. So 11 double crochets into the center of your ring, holding it open with your finger and thumb. If you'd like to follow along with the written pattern, all of my patterns are available on my website, secretyarnery.com, and all of my patterns are written in plain English, just like I was sitting there right beside you. Our chain doesn't count as anything. Our first real stitch is right here. That's our first stitch. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So now we're going to slip stitch into the top of our first real stitch to join. So slip stitch to join. And chain 3, small chain. So we just want to be making our chains on the tip of our hook. We don't want big chains. If you make big chains, just chain 2. Now into that very same stitch right here, we're going to make 1 double crochet. So that counts as our first 2 double crochets because our chain counts as a stitch. And now into each stitch all the way around, we're going to make 2 double crochets into each. So wrap your yarn and 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around. You can pause the video and work your way around 2 double crochets into each stitch, and I'll meet you when you get closer to where we started, right over here. When you get back to where we started, we're going to work into this stitch right before our chain, just to make sure our circle is nice and full. So we're going to do 2 double crochets right before our chain into that same stitch. Just push your hook in and 2 double crochets. There, just like that. So that finishes round 2. For round 3, we're going to make 1 single crochet to join right into the top of our chain, right there. So push your hook into the top of your chain. You want 2 strands of that chain on the top of your hook, 1 single crochet to join, just holding that space open with your finger, and chain 2, 1 and 2. So this counts as our first double crochet. Then into the space right where we joined, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And now in between each pair, we're going to make 3 double crochets in between each. So in between the next pair of stitches, 3 double crochets, just into the space. We're starting our granny stitches now. And after the next pair, right here, 3 double crochets. And we're going to do this all the way around, 3 double crochets in between each pair. So just wiggle your finger in between those pairs, and that's where you're going to make your 3 double crochets. Just like that. So you can pause the video, keep working around, 3 double crochets in between each pair of stitches. And I'll meet you when you get right back over here where we began. When you get back to where we began, we're going to join to the top of our chain again, 2 strands of the chain on the top of your hook, and we're going to make 1 single crochet to join, just so we end up in the middle of that join right there. And that ends round 3. To start round 4, we are going to chain 2. That counts as our first double crochet, and into the same space, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So exactly the same as we did for the last round, like that. But now instead of in between the pairs of stitches, it's in between these sets of 3. So it's an easier spot to find. Just into that space, 3 double crochets into each. So there's my first 3, and now 3 double crochets in between each set of stitches all the way around. So you can pause the video, keep working around, 3 double crochets in between each set of stitches in the row below, and I'll meet you when you get right back over here where we began. When you get back to where we began, we're dishing up a little bit, meaning it's curling on the edges. So to finish off, we're going to do the same thing. Into the top of our chain, we're going to single crochet to join right there. So pop your hook in, single crochet to join. So no matter what size you're making, this is what shape your hat will be. That is the top of our hat. And now we're just going to change our increases, or the amount of increases, to make our hats different sizes. So here are our 3 different sizes you can pick from for your hat. This is size small. It might be a little hard to see with the darker yarn, but it's gorgeous in real life. This is size small. So for size small, we did regular stitch, and then an increase. Regular stitch, and then an increase. So regular stitches are just your regular cluster of 3. So for the size small, regular, increase. For size medium, we are doing regular, increase, regular. So increase, regular. Increase, regular. I'm going to show you the increase stitch, so don't worry about that. I just want you to see the size difference of how we're spacing out our increases with regular stitches and the shape that it changes your hat, or the size it changes your hat. And this is size large. This is increases all the way around. So all increases all the time. And that gives you the large size. So you can decide what size hat you're making, and we are making it that size for round 5. So for our sizing round 5, I'm going to be doing size medium, but you can make yours a size small, medium, or large. All of our hats start with a chain 2. And if you are doing the large size, you're going to be doing 1 double crochet into the space. If you're doing medium or small, 2 double crochets. And if you want to follow along with the written pattern, it is all in the written pattern, so it's really easy to follow. For me, I'm doing size medium, so I'm going to be doing 2 double crochets into that space, because I'm going to be doing regular, increase, increase. So there's my regular, increases, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets into the same space. So that's our increase. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. So there's my first increase. Into the next space, the same thing. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. If you're doing the large size, you're going to be doing increases all the way around, no regular stitches. And if you're doing small size, you're going to be doing 2 regular shells and then an increase, depending. So this is where you're sizing your hat. So for me, size medium, I'm doing regular, increase, increase. So regular is just 3 double crochets. And increase is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. So that's regular, increase. I need to do another increase. So you can see the difference. Your increases have a space in the center. They're a little bit of a hill, and your regular ones are just a soft curve. So depending on your size that you're making, your increases are going to be spaced out more or less, or you won't have any regular stitches at all, just increases. And you can do that to make any size hat you like in this round. So you can pause the video, keep working around, doing the increases you need to do for your size hat, and I'll meet you when you get all the way back right over here where we began. When you get back to where we began, we're going to join with a single crochet into the top of our chain, just like usual, for medium and small size. So single crochet to join, that finishes medium size. Same with small size, single crochet to the top of the chain. If you're doing large size, we have half of our shell in that corner, so we have to do 2 double crochets into our corner space. I could have left a longer tail to finish off our corner, and now we can single crochet into the top of our chain to join. So that's the difference if you're doing the large size. For round 6, chain 2 and 2 double crochets into the space. No matter what size hat you're making, now it's all the same. Now into the space, 3 double crochets. And into each space all the way around, and our chain 1s also count as a space. So if you have an increase shell, this also counts. We also have to put our 3 double crochets into the center. So 3 double crochets everywhere for this round. Into the space and into the chain 1 space. You can pause the video, keep working around, 3 double crochets into every space, including our chain 1 spaces, all the way around, and I'll meet you when you get right back over here where we began. When you reach back to where we started, make 1 single crochet into the top of the chain to join, and chain 2. Now go ahead and pop a stitch marker into this cluster, maybe into that center stitch of the cluster below that we just finished, because now we are ready to just work on the sides of our bucket hat. So now we want to keep working around, doing 3 double crochets into each space and joining with a single crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into the same space. All the way around, we want to have 8 rows on top of this stitch marker. So keep working your way around. You're going to do 8 more rows of just regular stitches, so 3 double crochets into each space, joining with a single crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into the space. All the way around, you want 8 rows on top of your stitch marker. So this is marking 0. This is going to be round 1. So keep working your way around, and I'll meet you when you have done 8 more rows of just regular stitches all the way around your hat. That is for size medium. When you've done 8 rows after your stitch marker, you just count them on an angle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we are ready, and that's for medium size, less for small, more for large. We are ready to join and start the brim. To start the brim, we are going to single crochet to join, same as usual, and start with our chain 2, same as usual, and 2 double crochets into that same space. Just like that. Now we're going to alternate doing an increase and a regular shell. So into the next space, we're going to do an increase. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets into that next space. And if I'm going too fast or too slow, you can hit that gear on the video and slow me down or speed me up. And into the next space, just a regular set of 3 double crochets. Into the next space, an increase, so 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. And we're going to keep doing this all the way around. So you can pause the video, keep working around a set of regular double crochets, so just 3 double crochets into one space. And into the next space, we're going to do an increase, so 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. You can pause the video and keep working around, and I'll meet you when you get right back over here where we began. When you reach back to where we began, we're going to join with our single crochet into the top of our chain. So 1 single crochet to join, chaining 2, and into that same space are 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now we can move our stitch marker up. I'm just going to mark this round that we just finished, our increase round here, and we want to have 3 rows on top. So into the space, 3 double crochets, and into the center of our increases, also 3 double crochets. Just like that. So now we're going to keep working around 3 double crochets into each space, including the increases, that chain 1 space we made on an increase round, and in between all of our clusters, so 3 double crochets everywhere. We want to do that for 3 rounds. So you can pause the video, keep working around, 3 double crochets into the spaces, including the chain 1 spaces all the way around, and I'll meet you when you get right back over here where we began. When you get back to where we started, we're going to join the exact same way. So 1 single crochet into the top of the chain to join, chaining 2 and 2 double crochets into that same space. Just like that. So now I can pause the video, keep working around. We're going to do 2 rounds of just regular sets of 3 double crochets into each space. We want to do that for 2 rounds. So you'll have a total of 3 rounds on top of your stitch marker. So 2 more rounds of regular stitches, 3 double crochets into each space, joining with a single crochet, and chaining two double crochets into the space, all the way around for 2 rounds, and I'll meet you when you get right back over here. When you get back to where we started, we have 3 rows on top of our stitch marker. Into the top of the chain, slip stitch to join, chain 1, and turn your work. Into this first stitch, right here, we're going to make 1 single crochet, and 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Into the back of our work. It's going to help our hat not curl up at the ends. We want it to stay down like a bucket hat. So 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. You can pause the video and I'll meet you when you get right back here where we began. When you get back to where we began, I've worked into my last stitch, and this is our join here. I'm ignoring it. I'm going to go straight over into our first stitch and slip stitch to join, chain 1, that does not count as a stitch, and turn your work. Now our very first stitch is right here, and we're going to work single crochets in 1 into each stitch all the way around on the front or the outside of our hat, just to finish off with a pretty edge to give some weight to our brim, like that. You can pause the video and keep working around. I'll meet you when you get right back over here where we began. Just 1 single crochet into each stitch. When you get back to where we began, 1 single crochet into that last stitch, and now you can slip stitch into your first single crochet to join, chain 1 to cut your yarn, or chain 1 to secure your yarn, or you can join with an invisible join. It's not hard and it looks great. So after that last single crochet, just pull a bit of a loop up and cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to sew in. Pull your hook up and your yarn through. So we haven't joined, I just pulled that yarn through my stitch. Grab your yarn needle. Thread your tail, and then using the blunt end of your needle, we're going to go underneath the 2 loops of that stitch, the first single crochet we did. So just put the blunt end of your needle through. Keep an eye on where your yarn is coming from, that stitch. We're going to go right back down into the stitch. Right where it came from. And then just gently pull it so that it begins to look like a stitch. Like that. And now you can use the sharp tip of your needle. These are linked in the description box down below or on my Amazon shop. And just sew in your tail, just along the back of your work, up and down, back and forth, a few different directions. And these sharp tip needles go through the fibers instead of around them, so it will not come undone. Just make sure you don't pull too tight. And cut your tail. And our center, we worked around that center tail, so we can cut that one as well. And there is your super cute, 1 color, easy bucket hat. Perfect for gifts or selling at craft fairs. So I hope you enjoyed making this as much as I did. I'm waiting for you in that video up there, and stay hooked.